For this question, we were asked to find the customer that has the highest ID number, whose name starts with an E and has an address ID lower than 500. So the first thing to always do is to first pick the table that has the information that you want to get your result from. In this case, we are selecting the customer table, so you use select asterisk from customer, and when you do run that query, you will get the table displayed below. And then in this case, we need to pick the columns that we need. So the columns we need is customer ID, we need the first name, we don't really need the last name in this case. We're going to need the address ID, because we're looking for the address ID. We need information about the address ID, we need information about the address ID, information about the customer ID, and whose name starts with E, so we need the first name also. So once we pick these three columns, we can then based on the previous examples that we've done, we can then use select customer ID, first name, address ID from customer, where first name like E percentage sign. And then once we do that, that means we're going to be picking all those three columns, but only with the first name starting with E. And then when we do run this, we'll get a streamlined data giving us just 31 rows. And then the next thing we want to do, because we're looking for the customer that has the highest ID number, yes, whose name starts with E. So we've already fulfilled the condition for whose name starts with E. So the next condition we want to fulfill is customer ID, the highest one with the customer ID, or no, the next one we're going to fulfill is who has an address ID lower than 500. So what we're going to do is add the second condition, which is the address ID lower than 500. So what we're going to do now is select customer ID, first name, address ID from customer, where first name like E percentage sign, and this allows us to join a second condition, address ID less than 500. And then once we put that, we can run it like this, or we can also put the order by address ID descending order. So the reason we are using the address ID descending order is because we want to see the address ID in descending order from the highest to the lowest. So by the time we run this, it will give us this information. Now instead of 31 rows, now we have just 25 rows. It has streamlined it into customer ID less than 500. Now the question asks the highest customer ID. So now what we need to look for is the highest customer ID within these rows. So which customer has the highest customer ID? It's most likely going to be Eddie with customer ID 434, but let's check. So how do we get that out? So what we're going to do is select customer ID, first name, address ID from customer, where first name like E percentage sign and address ID less than 500. Order by the customer ID this time around. So if we order by customer ID in descending order, so it's going to arrange the customer ID in descending order, and then once it arranges it in descending order, we'll be able to see which one is the highest, and then we can then pick the one that is the highest. So the way we pick the one that is the highest, we use the function limit. So if we use limit 1, it picks just one row. If we use limit 10, it picks 10 rows. If we use limit 20, it picks 20 rows, and that's how it works. So by the time we run this query, we'll get yes, and then it gives us 434, the customer with the name starting with E, and that has the highest customer ID, and then also has address ID less than 500 will be Eddie, having customer ID 434 and address ID 439. And that's how you can use the functions provided in this video to find to analyze your data, finding information in your data set. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next video.